Ozora has analyzed it very well. We are looking at his CV, what he has done, what he did for Uganda, and all this as such. But coming to the issue of is not a good coach. We need to go back to the drawing board and help come up with a local coach. I think that is not helping us. The question that I'm asking my fellow Zambian is that how our local coach performing at our club levels. I think that's the most question that we should all answer. The issue is our local coaches have failed. Look at how we performed in the CAF Confederation. Look at how we confirmed, at continental level, at per se. If the have failed us, the issue here is not mutual. It's pointing to fast. Certain policies that have been introduced at the football house, I'm sure, have really affected our national team. You realize that they opened, the floodgate where we're importing foreign, the profession of this young guy and boys who are coming from outside the country, to play at our club level. How have we performed as a team? Now, it's quite unfortunate that as a team, as a country, is known as a footballing nation, that we are failing to come up with 11 people, that's 11, my brother, to represent us at national level. We are failing. Mm-hmm. Remember those days, my brother Man Muzo agrees with me that each position at the national team level used to have 4 players working. Even you can say, okay, we'll do away with this team, then let's go for bench and pick 1 or 2 players. They perform wonders. But why have we got it wrong? That is the question that our colleagues who are part should answer. The issue is certain policies where you say this coach, and again, we've contributed to this as Zambia. Why have I said so? We should give this particular coach an ample time. Let him work freely. Certain decisions that he has made, of course, have been not good at all. But how do you say the coach is bad when he has given everybody an opportunity to play? He said, no, our goalkeeping area is bad. He went and picked somebody else. I know at least this boy who is in South Africa, Chivo, as it were. He's performing wonders. When he came to not a good one. Hello?
Yes, please wind up, Mr. Chinyama.
I'm winding up. In short, he's not the coach, but certain policies that they've been put in by first. I think it's contributing to this. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. You are number 1 in Africa. I totally agree. And Mamuzo, good day. We are waiting to hear how you analyze the transfers and stuff like that. Thank you very much. This is Alfred Chinyama from Play.
Thank you, my brother. All right, so that's Alfred Chinyama. Let me get to read some comments. Lucky.
Before you do that, Lorenzo, very quickly. He said he agreed with me and disagreed
with you.
I have not advocated for a local coach alone. For example, if Football Association of Zambia and Micho agree, I should think they are now in a meeting on how they are going to separate. The problem which we have at present is that we do not have much time as a country before our first game against Mauritania. Football Association of Zambia is planning, even prior to this, they were planning to call a training camp in 2 weeks' time. I spoke to the Football Association of Zambia president. They were also planning to camp the team in Europe so that they have an opportunity, because it's still pre-season, to be joined probably 5 days by the European-based players whilst in Europe, and then go down to Mauritania. After Mauritania, this is why I say that in terms of preparation, the Football Association of Zambia is always ahead. And then they come down, play Mauritania, play against Tunisia. You win in Mauritania, we expect a win in Mauritania, whoever is in charge. Then you come down at home, you have to win at home against Tunisia. Then you have 2 back-to-back games against Equatorial Guinea. If you have put together a good team and a good technical bench that is fully focused on matters on the pitch, you can get 6 points off Equatorial Guinea. Then it becomes anybody's, game in as far as getting out of the group is concerned. Now, having said that, today, if, for example, Micho is fired or he goes, whichever is going to happen today, like I told you, Football Association is very concerned, and that's why they have a meeting with him. If a new coach came in, let's say an expatriate coach, he doesn't have much time, and he'll start telling us the same things that everyone who has come in as an expatriate has been telling us. And to be honest, you need now senior coaches that understand the team that is going to be put together. And then probably you need advice, technical advice from an expatriate. Then after some time, you make a decision, because we are in a catch-22 sort of scenario. To be honest with you, again, I'll say, I have a lot of respect for Mitchell as a human being. But at present, we are not seeing any progress. That's where the problem is. When we talk about, it's him to make a decision on the goalkeeper, Bachinyama. It's not us. Pundits and whoever can say, but there must come a time. This is why I was saying, for me, I am near, I am close, because I will not suggest which players, but I'll give you indicators. Just like any team, you'd say, oh, maybe Sancho would do very well if he's on the bench, take out Cavani. Anybody is entitled to say that, isn't it? Every fan is entitled to say that. So the issue that we are saying is that in terms of decision making for players, when he started, he called a training camp, Copa Belt and Lusaka, with so many players. Those players that you had started with today, they are not there. Because if you are starting with young players, then you stick with them because they are going to make mistakes. If you have a Luka Banda, stick with the Luka Banda. Even if they come with an axe, stick with Luka Banda. If you come and tell me I'm sticking with Luka Banda, I'm giving him more games, but we must also see what have you improved in Luka Banda. This is why administration, we are saying boys have gone to Britain and other places. It means that they have been improved. What about the coach? Which players can you tell us that from the time that I came, this is a player that I found was like this, I've improved him to this. Heverena, when Nathan Sinkala, we didn't know them that much. They were good players, but we saw what he did. Stopiran Sunzu used to be a holding midfielder. Heverena changed him. So after 1 year, he must show us. Young players, for example, which young players have we trusted? 2016, England trusted youngsters when I stayed in. Trusting in a Jude Bellingham, trusting in a Jordan Sancho, trusting in a Marcus Rashford. What about our team? There's Oswald Mutapadea, who has been head of the under-20 and under-17. How come we're not trusting the Jimmy Mukeas who have succeeded? This is why I'm saying it's a problem, because Joseph Sabobo Banda, for example, Miguel Chaiwa, son of Changa Chaiwa, Power Dynamos fans will tell you they know that man. He is a very good defender. Bradley Mwene, because our colleagues we have seen, this is why they are beating us. They are getting younger players who are promising to play developmental tournaments. Now, if you say you have picked your best team and it fails to perform outside those that are Europe, where do you get the confidence that they will do well in the qualifiers? Clearly, he's failing to motivate these players. I don't know what sort of relationships he has with them anymore. And when you have a scenario like that, to be honest with you, it's time to make a change. This is why we gave you examples, even of teams like Chelsea and Manchester United. It's all about he could be my friend, but if it's not working for the country, that friendship goes out of the window, because we all must work for the people of Zambia and the best of this particular country. There are issues in terms of probably, for example, if he's fired, compensation, and so on and so forth. But then that's for the Football Association of Zambia to decide. And then very quickly, Mr. Chinyama talked about policy. FAS did not put a policy to say players can come in from everywhere. It is now that FAS have put in a policy to restrict, to ensure that only quality players from outside are coming into the country. So you cannot blame FAS to say, no, we had a proliferation or an influx or many foreign players coming into the country, into our league, because there was no such a policy. It is only now that the Football Association of Zambia, from the Kabwe annual general meeting, where councillors agreed that our national team is being affected by some of the taka-taka players that are coming from outside. So we will limit it to ensure that we have good quality players in the super division, which probably would work well for the national team as well.
All right, Jerry, welcome on board. Jerry, are you able to hear us?
How are you doing?
Good, and how are you doing?
Okay. How's Muzo? How are things?
Very well, thank you, brother Jerry. How are you doing?
Great. Good to hear your voice and your analysis.
Good to hear your voice and your analysis.
Thank you very much. Always appreciate it, sir.
All right, now, Jerry, we're throwing you right into the fire without having you to warm up in the frying pan a little bit. All right, so there's a general feeling that Mitchell has lost the dressing room. Do you agree to that notion?
Absolutely, I agree. Oh, well, not quite sure about losing the dressing room, but as to his performance,
losing the plot,
it leaves much to be desired, Lorenzo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Where is he getting it wrong then? If you say he may not necessarily have lost the dressing room, how then has he lost the plot as Chipolopolo coach?
Maybe he's not as astute a coach as we thought he was, because he was brought in to do better than what the local coaches had done. But he's been in the seat for more than a year, and we're not really seeing that progress that we expected. Yeah, we thought, okay, maybe we need some time in which to settle and really get to know his players and start fashioning a team. But when you look at the most recent performances at COSAFA, very disappointing. Since when were we knocked out in the first round like that? Huh? And other coaches in the past have used local players, I believe. But he had some local players, even infused experienced players. But we ended up losing 2 games in a row. And that was the end of us.
Okay.
Very painful.
Very painful indeed, eh? Okay, all right. So in a teeny tiny bit, let me get to read a few comments, and then I'll start with you, Jerry, as we take a short trip across the Mediterranean, as we see how Enoch Mwepu, Fashion Sakala, and Patson Dak are settling in at their respective bases. This is a very critical week, and getting into the next week for this Zambian trio, who are definitely taking a notch higher in so far as their playing career is concerned. But let me read a few comments coming through off Facebook Live. Lucky Malupande Arsenal says, hi, Lorenzo and Vamuzo. All right, thank you, Balake.
Thank you very much, Lucky.
We now have been joined by a Liverpoolian in Jerry. Okay. In Economist Carlos Winfords says, following you on YouTube, Sir Lorenzo, we can't be hiring and firing coaches every day. Let's give him a bit of time. This is not helping. Sir Dr. Professori Lorenzo, the moderator. He says the GOAT moderator.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Economist.
Economist, yes.
Yeah.
Carlos, a great guy indeed.
Yeah.
All right, then Matthew Chushi says, watching you from Yakutsk, Russia in Siberia. Thank you very much, Matthew Chushi, tuning in from Siberia. All right, I guess it's pretty much cold there. Totela Mkwai. I know it's very rare for you to hear someone greeting you like this, considering that you're surrounded by Russians there.
But here in the studio, it feels like we're in Russia.
We're in Russia as well, eh? It's literally cold.
Are we surviving this cold?
But it's getting warmer outside.
Okay.
Ben Breezy says, good afternoon, football lovers. I was among those who were supporting Coach Mitchell day in, day out. With the way things stand right now, this man has failed. Chivale Bwana Benson says, Bosca number to Tumeko. Okay, my apologies. It's 0967 390 390. That is 0967 390 390, and we'll definitely put you through. Martin Muleto says, already joined for the second hour. Ramuzo and Lorenzo Wabon say our local coaches have never failed us. Let us be fair. Mitchell has failed. Simple. Ramuzo was the first one to say Mitchell should be picked, and it happened. But now, things are turning sour. He has failed. I don't agree with Mr. Chinyama. Lorenzo, the best presenter in the world, watching as listening live from Livingston. Thank you, Martin Muleto, for the accolades.
Just to say that when Chelsea hired Jose Mourinho for the second time, the boss was Roman
Abramovich.
The boss of the club.
Roman Abramovich, the owner.
Exactly. But they still fired him when he failed to. So really, guys, when you're analyzing, you analyze based on facts.
Results-based.
Results, yes. And also, for me, I'll tell you, I sit down with coaches, but not just coaches. I also talk to the players. So when I give a verdict, trust me that it's not a verdict that is put down lightly. It is based on who I have spoken to. Remember, I worked in the Anti-Corruption Commission as an investigator. So when I want facts, I'll get facts. And when I've come to a conclusion, I am just a stakeholder. I'll put my views across based on what I have seen, empirical evidence, results. His win ratio, Mitchell, has not been very good, about 41%. To his credit, he has never lost at home, which is a good thing because all these games have been played. But like I've said, when you talk to players everywhere and you come to certain information, it becomes very difficult to back Micho at this particular stage. And I gave you an example of Ntazana Mayembe. Just one example. Micho went to Europe and came back with Ntazana Mayembe. He couldn't play Ntazana Mayembe. So what did he see for him to invite Ntazana Mayembe? And what has that done to Ntazana Mayembe as a player? And Ntazana Mayembe is always in camp. He was in camp with the other players. What is the feeling of the other players seeing how this boy has been treated? It becomes a problem. And that's why probably we cannot go into other nitty-gritty issues. But trust me, well, if he remains the Zambian coach and he succeeds, we appreciate him. But at the rate at which we are going, it becomes extremely difficult. I'll repeat, like I've said about Jose Mourinho, like we have said about Louis van Gaal, about David Moyes. When they come into this job, you have to support them based on what they have done. Heather Renard, it was extremely difficult when we didn't know him when he was here. He was a physical trainer we were taught by Ghanaians. And the job in Ghana was vacant at the time. Claude Leroy had been let go. So naturally, if the Ghanaians had rated Renard at the time, they should have employed him, but they didn't. And then he came down to Zambia. So there were issues where they say, where is this guy coming from? But he was afforded time and he succeeded. Why did he succeed? He was making the right decisions. Why did he succeed? He was never involved in player transfers. Why did he succeed? He had a very good assistant in Patrice Bumeo. Why did he succeed? He succeeded, largely because qualification to the Africa Cup, for example, was done by Dario Bonetti. So all these factors, you have to look at them. But I applauded, Renard for one thing. After 14 years of failing to qualify to the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup, Renard managed. And I was one of those people who went to the airport. When people are saying Zambia has failed in 2010, I went to the airport with my flag to give courage to Renard to say you can do it. When he came back, Renard, people don't understand this. I said Zambia can win the Africa Cup because last Africa Cup of Nations in 2012, we reached the quarterfinals and lost to Nigeria on post-match penalties. We are the only team that was eliminated at quarterfinal stage. Meaning that at least that, yes, what we expected, Thomas Nyirenda missing his penalty. The problem is that, guys, when you follow us, we have a lot of respect for you. We have all this information and we put it together in order for us to analyze things correctly. We are not saying we know it all, but we put together information. So ahead of the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations, I was here. Zambia versus Senegal, I predicted 2-1. Against Ivory Coast, I was in this studio. I said we will win on post-match penalties. When Kalaba missed, in my heart, I heard this is not the one who is going to score the winning penalty. When Stopira Nsonzu came singing a Christian song, he scored, and that was the one. Against Sudan, here, I said we will win by not less than 3 goals, and I see a defender scoring. Stopira Nsonzu scored. But when Renard came back in 2012, I had the difference with Daniel Kawama of the Zambia Daily Mail. We always joke about it today. He called Chikoropero. I said, no, it's not Chikoropero. The least we expect for Zambia at 2012 is a semi-final. And when we reach the semi-final, Zambia will no longer have the pressure. They can go all the way and win it. That is how analysis is done. Now, tell me, if you are failing to beat Lesotho and Eswatini, with your best, so-called best experienced players outside those that are in Europe, what gives you confidence that you go to Mauritania, you're going to win?
All right. We'll actually be oscillating back and forth, talking about our local game as well as transfers across Europe. Jerry, I hope I still have you online.
Yes, you do, Lorenzo.
Okay. All right. Now, Patson Daka was captured yesterday reporting for training at Leicester City. That excited Zambians. The nation was in delirium because we are so much of a passionate country. We are so passionate about football. We flooded the Leicester Facebook page demanding to see Patson Daka in training, even when it was beyond Leicester City's control to have him report for training.
Yeah, because he had to go through quarantine.
Absolutely.
And we didn't want to start.
And fans didn't understand that.
Alikut. Everything that you post, make sure Patson Daka, guys, please. Atoa in the Chemu Street, just post him.
All right, so Jerry, you saw the nation in delirium yesterday when Patson finally reported for training. That definitely is a harbinger of great things to come. At Leicester, all right, you have personal attachment and affinity for Leicester yourself. Are you abandoning Liverpool? in showing support and passion for Leicester in the new season, which is starting, ironically, exactly a month from now?
Well, Lorenzo, I will never walk alone. I can't abandon Liverpool. But I've always held a soft spot for Leicester in my heart. As you mentioned, some links I have with that city. So, yes, Zambians very excited there to see Patson reporting for training. Enoch Bwepo also has been sharing images of his initial stints at Brighton. Fashion Sakala as well was welcome to Rangers. So it's good for Zambian football. I think the only way to go from here is up. I think, we've had some lows of late, failing to qualify for the AFCON again, failing to defend the COSAFA, the national team not really performing well. So hopefully this is going to, like you said, this is going to be a harbinger of things to come. And things are just going to improve from there. Look, if the Zambian players in the UK, if they perform well, people will realize that there's talented Zambians playing soccer. So maybe let's try and look there. We might just find some more talented boys. And who knows, they may even beat a path to Europe, to feature in the bigger European leagues. So we're relying on Patson in a fashion to do well and sort of facilitate the movement of other players. And when you have a lot of players applying their trade in Europe, then your game naturally is going to improve. Your national team will be strong. Look at the West African teams, which have been doing well. They've got hundreds of players in the European leagues. Look at North Africans as well. Some of them have got players who feature in the top league. So we need that. They'll get the skills, coaching at the high level, and the experience. And hopefully it's going to strengthen our team. And, Leicester, the association of Leicester and Zambia actually goes way back, I think to the late 60s, must have been 1969 or so. After Leicester reached the FA Cup final, they came over to Zambia for about I think 4 matches or so.
Yeah, 1968 is the first time they came.
1968.
And 68, yeah. Oh, I'm forgetting my history. So 1968, they came over and played some games with some invitational teams, national team as well. Peter Shilton was in goal. He was young, I think he was 18 or so, but he was in goal for Leicester. And they won all their games. Unfortunately, the last game was a riot because the crowd thought that maybe the referee was favoring them, was harsh on Zambian players. So there was sort of a commotion at the end. And they got really upset and said, oh, we won't come back to Africa to play. We won't come back to Zambia because of what happened. But the late president, Kenneth Kaunda, wrote to them afterwards saying, look, okay, it was unfortunate that this happened, but we're really honored to have you visiting us. And hopefully you can come back to Zambia and play some more matches. So after they got that letter from the president, they sort of softened up and said, okay, yes, we've had a change of heart. We enjoyed our trip. It's just that the last game there was that commotion. You people should learn how to lose with grace. Otherwise, you won't make it in international football. There's losing and there's winning and there's losing. So you must accept results. And they sort of changed their mind and said, we'll come back in the near future. So we've been waiting since 1968 for them to come on a tour again. Maybe they will now, since they've got a Zambian player in their ranks. So we're still waiting for them to live up to their word. But good for the Zambian players there in England and in Scotland. And we look forward to them performing well and showing the world what Zambians can do.
Excellent. All right. Okay. All right. Now, Fundisi, your take on Enoch Mwepu. He's now with Brighton and Hove Albion, as well as Fashion Sakala. Fashion Sakala was finally presented.
Fashion Sakala.
Steven Gerrard, who was so excited to say he's going to give us a little bit of pace in the forward areas. All right. In the Scottish accent. In the forward areas.
You niggas dynamic. More dynamic.
All right. So the youngsters are really itching. One thing that I know for sure that won't disappoint is their work ethic on the pitch. they always put in 100% shift.
Yes.
When it comes to match day, and I'm pretty optimistic they won't disappoint. I'm wondering if the feeling is mutual, in your opinion, with the guys delivering according to expectations.
Well, the weight of expectation is really
very heavy.
Very, very heavy. And like you rightly pointed out earlier, we've seen an influx of Zambian fans onto these social media pages for the various football clubs that have signed our Zambian players. I was checking out where Patson, Daka, like on the Leicester City page, where those news of Patson Daka appearing for training, you are about 3,000 right? Comments.
Yeah.
But you go to other news, you find maybe 69 comments and so on and so forth. So firstly, the Zambians are very excited. But again, we need to caution from Backpage, particularly those that listen to Backpage and your friends who are commenting on these pages. We have to be very careful in terms of what we are posting there. Some people are even insulting in local language. It's not necessary. For example, the Leicester City fans were very upset with the way Algerians used to behave when they had Riyad Mahrez at Manchester City, and they were happy when Riyad Mahrez moved to Manchester City. Now, what that tells you is that if you have your player there and he is not performing, the fans there can begin to heckle him or make sure that it's uncomfortable so that he leaves because of the way you are behaving. So we gave an example, for example, of fans administration. Now, let's imagine you are van at a certain school, then when the Panga Chongo you who is supporting the kids, the school might say, even if Manawan walimunshe, mutenge mpeleke somewhere else. That was the case of Riyad Mahrez. Now, if your son or daughter is not doing very well and then you're even misbehaving, it will be much easier for them to say mpeleke. So we have to be very careful in terms of what we are posting on these pages. It's extremely important that we support and show our support and our love, but this is not tennis or golf where they'll be playing alone or boxing. They'll be playing as a team. So I've seen some people, sometimes it's just jokes, but I've seen insults where like, that's a poster, Patson Daka or fashion will stop following these pages and so on. There's no need, to abuse others, be civil. We can joke once in a while. There's no problem with that, but we have to be very careful. Now, having said that, those boys are representing us, and as fans, we are also representing our country when we are commenting on those, and we're representing those boys as well. So we need to give a very good picture of them. Now, the Premier League is a totally different league, but I think that look at Computer Mwepo, for example. Even his fellow players are already joking around his name. He was saying that he had forgotten his shoes or boots. One of the sessions, and they were saying the computer has to load everything and must be on point. So they're taking to these players. They have an infectious spirit. You saw Erling Haaland in wishing a computer well, saying Bola Nalesa. So you understand the concept of Bola Nalesa. Bola Nalesa is about discipline, commitment, hard work, and passion. So when you go into the UK, we have had players who have gone there previously. For example, Collins Mbesuma. Loads of injury issues. But we had issues also of reporting late for training. We had issues of Mawet. For example, I saw the Arsenal, they lost against Hibs. One of their players, the Brazilian, William, Anzone Kamonga Nakapoti Berry. Now that is going to upset fans and the coaches when you go, for example, it's off-season or you are overweight, because they are given strict programs to follow. But what we have seen of these lads when they were at Red Bull Salzburg and Fashion Sakara, first in Russia, Spartak Moscow too, and then later on Oostende in Belgium, is that they are very disciplined. And if they remain disciplined, because talent can only take you that far. It is the character that will keep you there and take you higher. So far, they have shown that they have got the character and they have got the talent. And so if they are given ample opportunities, and I know they will be, I think that this will be a generation. This is the beginning of dominance. Like Jerry said, if these boys perform very well, then Bazambo Bwera Manju Sakira Venasabovo, the English clubs will start coming now because of these boys behaving very well. It's not just on the pitch, but off the pitch,
fall too far from the tree.
I will not name names, but there's one player when he was in Europe. The wife would send me messages to say, meaning this is facts. We never said it.
The wife
would complain. Then they think, okay, tumtwali paloni. bamutwala paloni abamonika kwatamba okushayina kulya futi ayamba kwemisango bali up training bali numkobwalwa. So you don't do that. Football is a very short career. Remain disciplined. 10-15 years you're out of there, you come back, you contribute to Zambia. Look at, are you not tamukumbwa balesa mukupanga ma clinic abena Ngolo Kante nabena Sadio Mane. They have so much money that they are building hospitals where they are coming from. Where they are building schools. I always tell these boys that don't just be content in going to Europe. You can do big things like there's no difference with the Didier Drogbas. Ngama South Africa chambo kulira. Newspaper kuluma instead ya kuba ku Backpage kubola mlesa ngati wali uma girlfriend. Yo ali ku polisi. Why? So with these boys we have not heard anything like that, up to this point. And we pray that indara manomba rashfula bali mundara manomba. We pray that indara matashaka bachinje, and we believe that they are going to carry the Zambian flag honorably, and our era of dominance when we build our national team Chipolopolo around these boys, then we are able to do very well. And very quickly in terms of the coaches, Lorenzo, those teams that have qualified for CAF Champions League, I'm sure you have heard, listeners, that for example at Cabo Warriors, Ian Bakala cannot continue because he doesn't have a CAF A qualification. Now, he was coming from Lusaka Dynamos. Before Maweso Nyirenda, he seemingly was doing very well at Lusaka Dynamos, isn't it? Then Maweso Nyirenda came in. Bakala somehow found himself out of Lusaka Dynamos. He goes to Cabo Warriors. He does very well at Cabo Warriors. Lusaka Dynamos didn't qualify. So here is a young coach in Ian Bakala. What he needs now is a bit more training to get to that level where he is able to sit on the bench. But clearly at Lusaka Dynamos, top coaches there, they have failed to qualify to continental football. Ian Bakala, less qualified, thinking differently, goes to Cabo Warriors, helps them to qualify to continental football. Unfortunately, won't be able to sit on the bench. At Zanaco, they let go of Chris Kaunda. I understand they are negotiating, with a few coaches. It could be Kelvin Kaindu and Wilson Mali, according to my informers, who might be going to Zanaco Football Club. At Zesco United, it was said no Numba is too big for the team. You have seen the way it is. Numba went to Zesco United. He is not big statured indeed. He won the league, Namapepa Alikwata, and he will sit on the bench. The other team that will need probably help is Red Arrows. Excellent coach in Chisimbebe, but probably he also might not have the requisite things that are needed for him to sit on the bench. So when you are analyzing Zambian coaches, this is what you need to be looking at. And somebody had said that obviously in continental football we have not done very well. Our coaches have the abilities. All they need is a bit of help, like for example, technical advisor, tactics, quick substitutions, and stuff like that, then we'll be good to go. But also continuous improvement. You remember Football Association of Zambia wanted to take Wilson Nyirenda for training at some point, but he opted to resign and go to Baroka.
All right, let me read the last batch of text messages as we get parting shots of Jerry as well. Okay, so Mwape Sani says, Abamuzo, mubapere fye mpiri bashete before tukaqualify stars obatapirire Levi Mwanawasa Stadium. Please Mitchell, make a strong national team.
There's another one saying Kendrick Mashao is saying Chifwala is saying that you want Lorenzo to come to Manchester United, not sign a Sancho number. And somebody was saying, please move pressure Lorenzo at Man United, now let Sancho. We don't have so much time, but to not make a pressure. So next week in Gatuawera, we'll come up with a roundup of all the transfer issues and make a pressure chachine.
Just like join Manchester United.
Exactly. Just like a Panomba, Arsenal wale Tiana Rangers at 15 hours. But I don't think Fashion Sakala will be ready. But in keeping with what our gentleman is saying, me, I was saying that it's better for Arsenal eyebrows than making them face fashion. But
facing those forward areas.
Forward areas. It's going to make us chawa mama wapela balia pilipili basheta pilipili olokuta pili la Ibrox yapanda kujawa wale walada okay tuaya
Baxter Sorrendo. All right, Adam Chiokoma says good afternoon sir Lorenzo. Pastor Chibuliwe Muzo.
Thank you.
All right, we lost with Eswatini, with an expatriate coach, Micho. He must be fired after that embarrassing exit. Rasoli Chipale, hashtag, he says. Thank you very much, Adam, for tuning in.
Yeah,
my good friend from Dola, I don't know whether he's still in Dola, John Malesio Simutenda says, great show, guys. Continue to have it week in, week out. Micho, for me, has failed lamentably, period. You see that in his many post-match interviews, it's like watching a race between a Ferrari and a fan cargo. It means the Ferrari does not win, and then you have the driver of the Ferrari blaming the engine for his failure.
My goodness.
My reason against his instant dismissal is that the World Cup qualifiers are almost here. Would only worsen the situation. Pastor Leo Kakungu says, tuned in live and direct from Lusaka. Mamuzo Patali, Mashado Walker, Lorenzo Wamonsi Atibwanji.
Oh, Pastor Leo.
Greetings from Leonardo Bonucci, he says. We're not yet over the deserved loss of England.
Goodness.
It was a joy to see Italy play their hearts out. Meanwhile, at Zambia, we really need to get back to our glory days, and it's not going to be with Micho. No, this coach has failed us. Pastor Leo, the trailblazer. Thank you very much, sir, for tuning in. All right, Jerry, peak of the weekend, look out for the weekend.
Okay, I think hats off to Djokovic. He won the
Novak Djokovic
championship, Wimbledon.
Okay, yeah.
And he's holding 3 Grand Slams at the moment, and is the favorite for the upcoming New York US Open. So well done to Djokovic, as Chair would say. And then we look forward to the discussions where clubs want to buy new players. There'll be bids. Bids will be turned down as clubs in Europe and other leagues as well try and strengthen as the new leagues approach the opening of the new leagues. So we look forward to the movements in the transfer markets.
Excellent. Thank you very much for coming through, Jerry. You sound a little bit under the weather with the flu there. I hope you get well soonest.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm almost up to 100%. Still recuperating.
Okay, but I'm glad you got vaccinated against COVID. I also got vaccinated on Tuesday. Mfundisi got vaccinated last week on what? Thursday or Friday?
On Friday.
On Friday. All right. So please, everyone listening in needs to get vaccinated. Peak of the weekend. Look out for the weekend. Mfundisi.
Peak of the week. Called after the show last Saturday.
Last Saturday.
It was good to hear from him. And we'll be getting to you, Badala. Lakim Siska was also calling you, saying, I want to be part of the show. Maybe next week, Lorenzo.
Yeah, not a problem. He's welcome.
A legend. I'm looking forward to seeing how the outcome of the meeting between the Football Association of Zambia, President Andrew Kamanga and his executive, and Micho, is a good human being, Micho, at the end of the day. But for me, this marriage has not worked. And it's time the parties, agreed to part company, and then let's see quickly what can be done, going forward.
Awesome. All right, great stuff. All right, Jerry, I'd like to appreciate you for having come through. Okay, if we still have him, or he's gone. All right, you're still on. Okay, regards to family.
Next time.
Not a problem, my brother. Okay, all right. So it's mejores amigos para siempre. At this juncture, gentlemen, we have to say, lights out.
Livingston and Ndola. Catch Quality Radio on 98.9 FM.